Okay, I guess we can get started. It's about 2 o'clock.
Sure.
Does anyone have any stories about the 1950 census?
Barbara does.
Okay,
I went on the library site
Yeah.
and found that it was available through the library. And I struggled a little bit because at first it didn't quite do what I thought I had done, but I eventually got there. And of course, there were no surprises because I missed the 1940 census by about 4 months. So I was very familiar with the 1950 census for my family and what should be there. The other thing I wanted to point out, though, is that I also tried Family Search just before getting on here, and Family Search is not offering the 1950 census apparently yet.
So,
That's it. That's interesting.
yeah, and I tried finding my parents on the 1950 census to see, how it was filled out. And I was able to get to the page where my father and my mother were listed, but it was the bottom 2 entries on that page. And I couldn't find out how to advance to the next page to see the rest of the family members. So I'm just wondering, did they make it difficult to advance a page or
This is on Ancestry?
on
Through the
new
library, not
no,
Ancestry.
this was
Oh.
directly to the 1950 census
Oh,
Through the library.
through the library.
Huh.
Yeah. I
don't know.
could not advance to the next page to see the rest of the family members.
There wasn't that little arrow on the right, huh?
No,
It didn't work.
didn't work.
Didn't work.
Has anybody else accessed the 1950 census yet?
No.
I looked
Yeah.
at it through the National Archives site. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I believe
Through the
so.
library made it available. Was that National Archives? I'm not even sure how it looked at the moment. I just did this last night, but I'm not sure exactly, but I did access it through the library, yeah, through genealogy.
Yeah, that is the National Archives. Should I show that here?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, trying to see it myself right now.
Well, if we go to this page, I put it up here, and that is the National Archives. And
Yeah, that's it.
that's it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the National Archives.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's actually officially, they have just come out saying something about a couple of states are searchable now to some extent. I don't quite know what they mean by that. But indexed somewhere or other. Is it Ancestry? Like this is Ancestry, so it looks like it is, they have these, but when I was looking here the other day, it was saying 0 records. I'm not sure where I saw that on here.
Now, Ancestry cannot be accessed through the library at home, correct?
Right. Not the library edition, right? Yeah.
So what you're looking at now, you can access, but we at home cannot.
Right, you have to come in and use it here. You can bring in
Right.
your own laptop,
Yeah, okay.
but yeah. But I did start using this, and I was looking for a friend of mine's mother who came over from Great Britain after World War II and came to Wisconsin. And see, they're all talking about these enumeration districts, but you could search somewhere. I was searching on names.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Well, I did name it, and then the enumeration district was required.
Yeah. Well, then you come up with this sort of thing, and I know she was supposedly in Milwaukee. So I was looking in Milwaukee for her, and I had trouble finding her. The way you would do it is go down here, and they're showing that a number on line 9, right? Is this how you were sort of doing it?
Yep.
But that turned out not to be the right person, as I remember. Yeah, see, No, there's 9. I don't see Heath there at all, do you? So I'm not sure what's going wrong here, but maybe there's a second. Yeah, that's a little confusing. But what happened was I searched in the end on her. I found a city directory on Ancestry for Milwaukee. And I found that she was with her sister and brother-in-law, and he had a more unusual name. So I found, and I'll tell you why we were looking for them. It's a little bit of a mystery story, but I did find her. Well, there's Clarence Schrader.
I think the 9 refers, doesn't the 9 refer over here and to this? Like, see, you're moving around so much, I can't.
Sorry,
Doesn't it?
I thought it meant on the left side, this.
Yeah, I thought it meant there
Yeah.
too, but
Yeah,
Well,
and
yeah.
there it does. See, that Schrader comes in. That's not the Schrader I wanted though, but the mystery, this is, if anyone has any ideas about this mother, she's passed away a while back. She came from England after World War II with her sister to the United States, to Wisconsin, and she apparently married somebody in Milwaukee, and he was a little bit of a mafia type guy.
Oh,
So
wow.
she was frightened to death and either divorced or had the marriage annulled. And my friend doesn't know the husband's name. So we were trying to find, here, I'll stop sharing for now, but we've been trying to find the husband's name, and she thinks it was an Irish name. So how do you find that? She wrote to Milwaukee and they said they only have the marriages by the husband's name. Has anyone ever done anything like that?
No.
So this is Ron. I have a question. Do you know where they lived in 1950?
Well, it turns out that she was still with her sister in 1950, and we know the marriage was sometime between around 1950 and 1952, we think, or possibly
Okay.
earlier, but they were divorced right away. So
So
I did
what is she looking for? The name of
the first
former-
husband's. I wonder if they were officially married. I don't know.
Why does she want,
She
Why
wants
did
to
she-
know his name.
why?
I'm not sure why. Just for her, she's an
I mean,
avid
If the
genealogist.
marriage was so brief, and
Yeah.
I mean, why care?
She just cares. She cares. She's a really strong genealogist, and she's trying to get all the records in order, I guess.
But
I don't
there's
know.
there's no bloodline relationship there at all.
No, not apparently
Just
not.
curious.
Yeah, just curious. But
Nah.
it's kind of a fun thing to look, because I know where my parents are. They were exactly where we expected, and many people
Yeah.
do have a pretty good idea. So that's a good mystery.
Yeah, going back to your friend, were they very religious that they would have shown up like in a church book somewhere?
Not that we know. She was not especially, and I don't know. We haven't found anything at this point, but she may never find it. I was just sort of helping because I was trying to learn how to use the 1950 census.
Mhm.
So
When I first put in the family name I was looking for,
yeah,
the Louis French name in Marquette, Michigan is numerous. So
yeah.
it brought me to the wrong family.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though the district, the enumeration district was the same. And so then I realized, okay, this is one of these double marriage each with 9, 15 kids type
Yeah.
thing. So I'll have to go through maybe every district is going to have one of those names. So I just kept changing the district and got there.
And you did find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Did
good.
find it. Yeah, I'm just doing a search here, just looking real quick for my parents or my grandparents. And they're not showing up, and I keep getting this thing that says, help us transcribe.
Yeah.
I think they've got some indexing issues here, it sounds like.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they got to work the bugs out.
yeah.
Because they're not, I'm getting, the surname is coming up a couple of times, but not the one I'm putting in.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit frustrating, but
Yeah.
somebody will figure it out.
Yeah.
I thought they had done it all, but guess not.
No, I
did
think
a
it was
search.
machine done.
Looking at it
Yeah.
this
Done.
morning.
Yeah,
I
We're looking at-
tried doing a search on my own name and I'm not listed. I could not find it. And yet I was supposed to be in the 1950 census.
Yeah, but
But
You-
I could find my parents, but I could not find myself.
oh, you found your parents. I couldn't find my parents either, so.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I should be in it also, but,
yeah, I was almost 10. I just missed the other one. So I was there and so were you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is Ron. So we were looking at it this morning and what we found out that again, the census taker was writing names down and they didn't spell them properly when you're saying you're
Right.
not finding. And
Yeah.
again, the census was done on April 1st. So if you were born before April 1st, you're on the census. If you were born after April 1st, you're not on the census. So when you were just saying that you couldn't find yourself on the 1950 census.
I was
No,
born,
I
I was born in the 40s, so,
I
yeah.
was.
Yeah,
born
I
in
was too.
40.
So I should have been on the 1950 census. Yeah.
Probably
Okay.
misspelling, probably
No, but what we
misspelling.
found out this morning, if you go to that Explore Maps for 1950 to find that census district, if you know the address
I
that you
did.
were at, you get the address and you can find that a lot easier than you can find the name, especially if it's
Oh,
misspelled.
okay. Okay.
Can you explain that to us if I?
Yeah, where do you put
bring it
that
up?
in?
So, okay, so if you go to the 1950 federal expense,
Is it-
the top page, no,
Yeah.
under ancestry, excuse me, under
Oh, you're
Oh,
ancestry.
under
Ancestry.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay,
We don't
hold
have
on.
ancestry anymore.
I'm just on the government site.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Again,
That's family search. That's my heritage. I thought I had it up here. Yeah, there we go. So here's Ancestry, library edition though.
Okay.
So
Well,
you're not getting the same, go back to the beginning, so it comes up where it says 1950 and then Explore Maps. So go, can you go back out of that?
there's a picture of a woman
Yeah, where they show the picture of the,
on the left-hand side.
Search the census, yeah, documents.
I'm not sure.
no, click where it says 1950 census.
Where I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, you go back a screen,
I
Okay,
think it's on the top.
right there.
Where it
this,
says search
Search census documents down below.
on your left.
Don't begin searching.
Where the
this,
man and woman are, right there.
yeah, I just thought I did that, but,
Oh,
Yeah, I brought you to the same place.
oh,
Okay,
yeah, and then here's that's where I was.
Yeah.
the 1950 census.
Yeah, you gotta
And
Yeah.
did you see that it's saying it's free?
What?
but you-
So
don't
you
see
may
that.
be able to search it without having an Ancestry account right now, right?
On
Oh,
Ancestry?
You see
I
that?
thought that was supposed to be the case, but a few days ago I tried it and that wasn't there. What's coming up there was not there. So they've,
Oh, they have opened it up, you think?
yeah, because it says free.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And
I
I had heard that even if you don't have Ancestry membership, you can still access census documents.
So who should we look for? Should we look for
no,
someone
but
in?
you're not finding where it says Explore Maps, and that's where those census districts are, and you can put the address in.
How
So
do you
I'm not
think I
sure-
would get there?
Well, is it say 1950 on there? I can't read it.
It
Yeah.
says the top 1950 federal census.
Yeah.
Enumeration districts? You see
Go up
this?
to,
Where you're trying to find is the enumeration district. And
Yeah,
there,
it's right there.
it says explore maps on our page that we see here.
So
don't
you
think
can
we-
find, you see over here, it's saying state, door, and then the townships. What, do you want to try to find a specific one besides Door County?
No, but that's the enumeration district. The one I'm looking at where it says Explorer's Map, you can put an address in and then
Yeah.
it gives you
It gives you the number
it
of
gives
the
you the
map.
number of what map to look
Well,
at.
look at this. They do have a household number here.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So should we try something?
Sure.
What's a good one to try? Any
Go ahead,
other
Charlie.
state?
How about my address, 1422 Presque Isle?
In what
Marquette,
state? Marquette, Michigan?
Michigan, yes.
Okay, we have to do this first.
Okay,
County is Marquette.
county is Marquette, yeah.
There we go.
And then the street address is 1422 Presque Isle.
Oh, you got to spell
Do we know the township or?
it. Would probably be
It'd be the
Marquette.
city of Marquette, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if that'll work, but what's the
The street address?
yeah,
Street address is 1422
Spell it.
Presque Isle. It's Presque.
do you think that I should put that on the same?
Yeah.
No, it says house number.
House number, oh, 14,
So it
okay.
needs a street
It need-
somewhere.
It needs a street somewhere.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Presque.
Where's the street go?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
Laura, are you using the library copy or using your copy?
This is the library. Do you think that ours would be a little different?
I don't know. Is Tom, you use Ancestry?
I'm on
Yes.
Ancestry right now. I'm getting the same thing.
What's
Don't-
the name of the street? Let's just try
Oh,
it.
Presque.
PR.
She's got
Sorry.
PR.
Oh,
Well, Presque, and then new word, ISLE.
Possibly we have to put in the township.
Would be Marquette. It's Marquette City.
I don't know that there is a township.
Marquette.
A county, Marquette City.
Yeah,
And then you specify what part of the city. Do you know what ward? Yeah, that's
oh
gonna
gosh.
be.
Yeah, I don't know what ward.
The hell?
it would
Well,
be.
let's just search this and see if anything comes out of it. But that's, I don't know where you, so it's
Here, we
coming
can
up
show
all
you.
over the
We can
place.
show We can show you. Here,
I
Show
took
Wyoming?
a picture.
Do you want to, if I stop sharing my screen, do you know how to share your screen?
no, here, just
I'm
look,
gonna
look
No,
try
I
and
don't.
show you my screen.
closer. Look,
Oh.
see how that shows on the top there? 1950 federal census, and it says explore maps.
And do you see that picture of the woman, a black woman, and it says 1950 in the map?
Why
And
don't
it's
you
the-
go to the bottom of the screen where it says share screen, and then you can pull it up on your computer? Can
I'm
you do
not,
that?
I'm on my phone for the, I'm on my phone for the
Okay.
video, and I'm on my computer for the,
Yeah. So I'm not sure how you got to that, but,
okay, so click back, go back.
Well,
go-
that's on
Let
our
let me try this one more
Ancestry.
time. So go back to the beginning, you're under Ancestry, go back to the homepage,
yeah,
go back. Go get out of that page too, go back to the
You
homepage.
don't have Ancestry. though.
that is the homepage for the library
You're
edition.
using the Ancestry
Okay,
library.
so then, yeah, so I don't know, you're not showing the same thing that
They're
I am.
talking strictly Ancestry.
That's the
so
problem.
that.
Yeah, that's the problem, because that's kind of a hint on how to locate that remuneration number that will correspond with the address, which will help you cut down on time to locate that.
Yeah,
So see, you're not seeing that on yours?
I'm not seeing what you have. Yeah,
No,
that's
but
the
Steve,
trouble.
are you on Ancestry?
You're
Steve.
talking about your own personal Ancestry account, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, so I think that has something
may-
additional there.
It may
That-
differ from what the library version offers.
The library version doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I looked up mine. I was born in 1950 in January, and I did find myself on the census this morning.
yeah.
The only thing that was interesting is my last name was Krause, and it clearly was written without the E on the end. It was Kraus. So there again, it was, a matter of the person, taking the census misspelled the last name. But I did find myself.
Were
Yeah,
you
but
able to
you found
correct it?
yourself by the address.
Pardon me?
Could you
What
correct
did you-
it?
I don't know if I can correct it.
Yes, you can offer a correction. I've done that in the past a number of times. Sometimes,
Okay, well,
it-
then I will do that because I noticed there was another Krause listed in like down the block, and that was kind of a popular German name in Milwaukee at the time. So I don't know what happened there, but it definitely should be corrected. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that, but I'll look into that.
Once it gets to Ancestry, they do have a way where you can correct it.
Yep.
Okay.
But I don't know about on the National Archives if they
I'm
do.
not getting anything to come up when I do a search on my dad. I don't know their exact number of the house. I know what street they lived on in Madison, but nothing's coming
Yeah,
up.
well, that map thing, that what they call numerology thing is kind of confusing because there's a
Mine
lot of.
wouldn't even come up. So when I tried
Yeah.
that to explore maps,
Should we try this again here? If we go to Wisconsin, Madison, but then you're not going to know your
I
district,
can bring
right?
up mine if you want. I could share it if you wanted me to try that.
Yeah, do you want to do that?
I could try it here.
I've set it up for you to share the screen if you want.
Won't find mine either.
No, I'm trying to do it. It's not coming up. I'd have to plug it in. I don't have a cable anymore.
Hmm.
can you put the computer on here?
Yeah, I'll bring the computer.
I'll try.
Yeah.
You almost
Let me
think
see
of
if I
it.
can do it on my computer, I think here. I don't know. No,
You would think it would be easier now that they're just releasing this, that they would have, the cross-reference ability a little bit easier than, that renumeration thing, and just by the name or something. You'd think that would be easier to pull up.
yeah, I'm trying to pull up my iPad and usually it comes up all right when I do it, but it doesn't seem to want to do it today.
Yeah, it's not simple, that's for sure.
No, it's cumbersome.
And if you don't know the address, then you're going to be spending a lot of time.
Well, they gotta get, and I don't know the number. I can look it up someday. I can find it in one of my other documents. That was the house I was born in, so. I
Wow.
should, yeah, that's why I was hoping it would come up. It'd be kind of interesting. Actually, I
Yeah.
remember when I was at school in Madison, it turned into student housing and we had a few, we won't get into the details of the parties that were handled there, but Mifflin Street in Madison became a pretty good thing back in the 60s.
Was that East
Oh,
Johnson
that.
Street?
Yeah, it was over in that area, yeah.
Yeah,
Boy, this was-
okay.
But we don't want to go there.
No, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. That'll be for another time.
Maybe
I
never.
did notice with my street, it changed its name. I mean, it was in
Yes.
Sturgeon Bay, but it had a different name earlier, and then later they changed the name of the street. So that can happen in a lot of cities.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, the name change here in Sturgeon Bay was well known.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if that were the case, I wonder if you'd put in the street name that you knew it was back in 1950 versus what it
Versus-
is now.
Yeah. Well, I would
You'd
think
probably
so.
have to do the 1950 street name version.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps wanting to go. One of mine went to South Africa.
Well, here's our other way, the other way that I was able to do it. Did you find it,
Let's see.
Steve?
I'm working on it here.
I found mine. Well, I think I found it.
If
Yeah,
you don't,
Krause.
I found that city directories are helpful if you don't know the address. And once you find like I just see right now, Madison has a city directory on Ancestry for
Yes, it does.
1950.
Yeah,
So if you can, yeah, find the address there and then you can go over to the census and plug it in.
Seriously?
Yeah. That's that one was-
Oops. I found the maps. Did you guys find the maps? I was busy working here. Did you find those maps of it? Oh, okay. Well, if you go to, well, I went to Ancestry,
Maybe go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ancestry, and then, oh dear, this, okay. And when I come up with the main page from Ancestry, under my ID, okay,
Mhm.
scroll down, and it comes down and there's a 1950 Census District Finder. And then over on the right of that heading, it says Explore Maps. And then you click on that and you get a picture of the United States with a whole bunch of circles on it with numbers on it. You
Mhm.
click on the one that covers your state, and then you come up and you get another one, which is a closer thing of your state, and it's got another black number, and you click on that, and then you pick the one that's closest to where you want to be. You click on that, and then it brings you down to a much more detailed map.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I
I
think I
clicked
got
on
it.
that, and sure
But
enough,
Tom-
there it was.
Tom,
There's-
if you just enter the address and search, it zooms right in with all
Yeah, you
those
can do
clicks.
that too. Okay, 223, I'll try that. Well, no, they weren't
Yeah,
there. I have to go
There
to,
you go. There, see, you got it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how we, that's how.
yeah.
ours
Just
was.
enter the address and then it'll give you the enumeration district, which is a lot easier to find then with the census.
Right. The problem is that the address I was putting in, the house wasn't built yet.
Well, but
So I have to put in another,
house
diff-
do you
I have
live
to put
in?
in another one. Hold on.
Betty had the same issue this morning. She
Yeah.
learned the address of the house she was born in because she said, well, my parents were building a house. But I said, where were you living when they were building the house?
I had to ask my brother. Because I was 3 months old and then they moved.
Okay, search. Okay, it came up with 3 enumeration districts, which 1394, I clicked on the first one, and I just got to look for the street. Okay, this isn't going to do it. I mean, that's not the right one. I got to go to the other one. One of the other ones. Oh, it took me all the way out. But it came up with the
District.
census document with the streets identified, and they were the right streets in the right area.
Huh.
So
Yep.
I don't know. Laura, you want to go back to your screen once?
To the Ancestry one?
Yeah, your ancestry screen.
Okay.
And let's see if we can. Oh,
Will
Steve,
you use
Steve,
it,
get
Tom?
off the thing.
Will you
Get off,
use it,
Steve.
district?
Okay.
Okay,
Go back to
That's the
Laura.
main
Okay.
one there.
All right. Now let's see if we scroll. Now this doesn't look anything like mine, which is interesting. Okay. Can we
Let's
scroll
do
down?
this.
Is it?
Scroll down. You're right. This is entirely different than mine.
Yeah, this is the
from
library
the
edition.
regular,
Click on that center one where the picture is.
With the girl with the blue dress, click on
Yeah.
that.
There's,
Okay.
I can do browse now. Oh, and then it's going to see, they're not just letting us do it.
Right, so
I
you
guess.
you can't look up at explored maps. You have to be on your own personal account.
yeah, it looks that way.
It looks that way, yeah, but has anyone tried Family Search for this?
Yes, I did.
How did that work for you?
Not at all. It did not.
Well, let me see here. See
I'm
what I
trying here,
get.
I'm trying to find my
Family
heritage.
search.
See, here's
That's
Family
what I-
Search Wiki,
Sign in.
Oh, I didn't go to that.
and do they have anything here that might be of
Says,
help?
okay, it says 1950 census, get ready and find ways to get involved. Oh, they want me to,
How do
whatchamacallit.
you get to the wiki part of family
You go
search?
to, it's,
Search
the top.
Wiki.
yeah. You go to the top where it says
Oh.
family search, family tree, search, click on search. And then it's down at the bottom,
Okay.
research wiki.
I thought I saw enumeration districts in here or here. Maps. Do you think
Yeah.
that'll have it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they only have California and Kentucky, it looks like.
Yeah,
right?
they're, not everything is indexed in Wisconsin. Only have a couple of spots what I found on the maps.
Mhm. So it's
Now it's
going.
showing it's a beta on Ancestry.
Yeah, this is number of inhabitants, and then for the maps, they only have these couple things.
Yep.
So, okay,
So they're not as far along.
we have
We
to be
may have a little wait.
So we have to be patient with all this, right?
No,
Well, you can still, it is actually helpful to keep poking around because you learn a lot, right?
Yep.
The only thing
Right.
I,
yeah, I learned they misspelled my last name. And I didn't really know the address of that home. I knew they were in the process of building, and now I'm trying to look at like the neighborhood that they built the house in, which didn't exist, just because I'm curious. Because there was a farm next door that was 100 years old. So
What's the address?
anyway, it's interesting.
What's the address?
725.
And as I say, if you're lucky enough to have a directory online, that can be very helpful in working.
Yeah, I'll dig that out when I get some time and see if I can figure out something there.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have anything else to add on all this? It sounds like we've all been trying.
Patience.
Yeah.
I don't know about My Heritage. I don't think it's any more advanced than anyone else. I don't have a subscription there. Does anyone?
I don't either.
No.
Nope, I don't either.
Yeah. I have my DNA there, but that's all. And they don't let you see the records, of course. But, you know, do try Ancestry 1950 census from home. If it is free, it might work. I don't know. Does
I have
anyone
a
have?
question, Laura, about the library version.
Yeah.
If you go to the library
Mhm.
with your laptop or whatever, and access the library version of Ancestry,
Mhm.
you can get the world version at the library, correct?
I don't think it's exactly the world version. It's called the library edition.
And does it show records from, say, France or Hungary?
I've never quite figured out what the difference is. Let me pull it up
Because
again.
before COVID, we used to go to the Sister Bay Library because we were working with the Genealogy Group.
Yeah.
And they enabled you to access records in the countries I was searching. And
Well, you
I
can
would be
see-
able to send those documents to my email at home.
Yeah,
And then
and that's the
come home
same.
and print them down. It's still that way?
It's the same as what you were doing then. It's just who knows what they're giving us. You can see they have some UK information, Canadian information. I think it depends on what you're looking for. Here they do have maps. Do you think that's where we would find our map?
Are you asking Barbara?
I don't know. Is it, that
Yes.
wasn't my
They only
question.
have 1940.
Yeah,
They
I'm
don't
not
have
seeing,
1950 yet.
That's different.
doesn't look like it, right?
But you could probably, let's see, were your parents around? Well, they had to be around the 1940. So you could find them in the 1940 and try that enumeration district that they were in 1940.
Oh,
And I
so
think there's
similar-
also, there used to be a thing on somewhere on the internet where
I
you
think
could
that's what she
you
should
could
do.
take the 1930
mhm.
enumeration district and then look up 1940 with that information from 1930. So
If
I
they haven't
assume
moved.
there's a 1940, well, yeah, from 1940 to the 1950, there's probably that too.
Hmm.
I haven't looked for it yet, but I would assume it's probably there somewhere. You know, something like, okay, well, I haven't looked for it, so. I'm hardly able to keep up with everything else, so.
Yeah. Well, does anyone have any other subject you wanted to cover at all today? I was,
I have a
Yeah.
question.
sure.
At the library edition, are the newspaper articles there or not?
There's the newspapers.com
Mm,
library edition again, which is not as good as the subscription edition. Are you aware of that one? It's through a Badger Link, basically.
yes.
Have you tried that? That's owned by Ancestry. So I don't know if they have them actually filtered into Ancestry, but you
Okay.
can go to newspapers.com library edition and look. The frustrating thing for me is they don't have Green Bay Press Gazette in the library edition, although they do have some of it in the paid subscription. So they limit everything in that way, which is kind of frustrating, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't even know,
Link is
I don't even know where you would try to, with, I don't know who has the actual archives for the library, for the Green Bay Gazette, if it's Garnett or if there's, I don't know where it would be, maybe Wisconsin, maybe the Historical Society, Wisconsin Historical Society has it. Did you
You
try
can
that?
get the microfilms, but they don't have the newspaper online. It's a Gannett newspaper, so it is, some of it is in the paid subscription to Ancestry
Okay.
and
Okay,
to
yeah,
Ancestry's newspapers.com, but not in the library edition itself.
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. Every newspaper is kind of individual and you have to really look around. I haven't found the Milwaukee Journal anywhere online. Has anyone?
I haven't had to look for it.
Yeah.
So, well, I did too look for it. And I didn't find it. Maybe, oh, back then, wasn't it this Milwaukee Sentinel was separate from the Milwaukee Journal?
Right.
Well, wait a minute, I don't know when you were
Yes,
looking.
yes.
When I was looking in the 60s, for the 60s, it was, I think they were separate. Milwaukee
Yeah.
Journal and the Sentinel were
They were.
separate at that time. So I don't know.
Genealogy Bank has got some of the Milwaukee newspapers, but Genealogy Bank is a paid service too.
Do they have the Journal, Sentinel?
Yes, yes, because I've looked up obits on Genealogy Bank, I think back to the 1930s
Mhm.
with the Sentinel.
Well, that's good to know. I don't have access to that, of course, but it's just such a toss up where you can find things. You know, that's the trick about it, is trying to find out. We can always send some Wisconsin microfilms here if they're available through the State Historical Society, but then you have to know where to look, page by page, and that's frustrating, as opposed to searching online. So I
I know
try to
that-
put a lot of those on our library genealogy history page, you know,
Right.
if I know about newspapers.
Right. When Laura, when you've requested them for me, I've been pretty successful with finding who I'm looking for.
When they come in on
Mhm.
microfilm, yeah.
Right.
Oh, good, that's good. At least there's that access.
Mhm.
And things
Where
are
are you
changing all the time.
accessing the microfilm?
She asked me to get them and then I get them through the State Historical Society, which is, if you just go to, do you want to see how to find those?
Well, I know there's, there are microfilm systems all over the country, and aren't they part of Family Search or no?
Well, we basically go in the state. If we
Okay.
want something outside, it's a toss up if we can
Okay.
get it. But
Alright.
in the state, the state had a really big microfilm project for years. And so they do have most of the papers in microfilm. Many of them are put online now in different places. And I try to put links on our library website. These are Wisconsin newspapers. Different states have different projects, so you just have to sort of go state by state. And the age makes a difference. The earlier ones are more likely online. The newer ones run into copyright and big companies like Annette who are digitizing things. So it's all over the map.
I have found that if I look for Sun Prairie,
Mhm.
if it's not in the Madison paper, if the thing didn't happen where it got in the Madison paper, I can't get it from the Sun Prairie paper because they're not online, unless I go to the library in Sun Prairie, and then I can look it up on microfilm. In the same way with the other place I go, which is down in southwestern Wisconsin, which is Lancaster. If it isn't on the Dubuque, because it's, or Platteville newspaper, because it wasn't important enough, you got to go to the library in Lancaster and look there.
You
You
can
know,
have those sent here if they're in Wisconsin.
you can? Oh,
Yeah, do you want me
yeah,
to
but I
show you
like
how?
going down there.
Yeah, well, that's the other side of the story.
I enjoy it. I go down there. They know me very well down at the Grant County Library or Grant County Records Office. I just come in and say hello, and they say, "Well, there it's over there. You know where to go." I just go over there,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
let
look up
me
everything. you know.
quickly show you, just in case you ever don't have the time to go down there. I put in Mad Cat and then library, and that brings up the University of Wisconsin State Historical Society catalog.
Okay.
Mad cat.
Mad Cat, yeah, that's what they call it.
Love
And
it.
then we do Sun Prairie,
Sun Prairie, yeah.
and we search. And then we narrow it down to format. And we do newspapers. And there's quite a few here, so you'd want to, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
Well, they
book,
changed their name by depending on who owned them.
and you can see the dates that these were
Yeah,
printed.
yeah.
And there's a book
Oh.
that it was put out by the State Historical Society of all the Wisconsin newspapers and
Oh,
the
I like
dates.
that. Back, whoa, slow down. Go down again, slower this time. Keep going. Keep going a little further.
Do you notice any that you use?
No, keep going. Well, yeah, I did it the very first one. But this is the one, right? Sunbury Quadrangle, Wisconsin. That's interesting. I wonder if that's,
Yeah. Well, in this case, it's not a microfilm, because if there is a microfilm, they will give you the list of and the names of the specific films.
oh, okay.
So I'm trying
okay.
to see, let's say this one, I don't know, I haven't done too much here.
Yeah.
They'll
okay.
list the actual microfilm number over on the right-hand side if it is a microfilm.
Yeah, it's
This
right
one,
there.
oh, there, it looks
Oh.
like that would be what I'm talking about. So you
Yeah.
would order that specific microfilm to be sent here. And if they can send it, they don't always send everything, but they'll send most of the things here.
Yeah, I successfully had them send, well, I was looking for the, what do you call it? Not the death record, the will and the probate records for my grandfather who died in Lancaster, Grant County, and they couldn't find it when I was down at the courthouse. So she said, well, I'll get it sent to you, and I'll have the state of Wisconsin Historical Society at Blackville send it to you. So they sent it to Green Bay and to UW Green Bay, and I went down there and copied everything I wanted, and no charge.
Nice.
Or did I have to pay 2 cents? I might have had to pay 20 cents a page. I don't remember. But other than that, it worked fine.
Some of those probate records are on, aren't they
Yes.
on Ancestry or?
Okay,
Yeah.
this was about 5-6 years ago, and they weren't on there yet. Okay, at least the one I wanted. And so that's why I had to go down there and get it. So
Well, and the way that works is you're talking about the state, what am I thinking? The archives, how they have the regional centers. Is
Yeah,
that what
the-
you're talking
what
about?
do they call those centers?
Oh, Yeah, I can't
Not
think of it right now.
WLS, but something like that.
But each, they have a reciprocal borrowing agreement for all those centers. So you should be able to get most things sent from one to
So if I
another.
want something from the Sunbury Library, I can contact you and you can get it from them?
No, I get the microfilms from where I showed you, the State Historical
Oh,
Society.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So if it's not at the state, but it's at the library, then I have to go down there.
Most of them are at the state. As I say, there was a gigantic
Yeah,
a project years ago for microfilming newspapers in Wisconsin. So a lot of them are available everywhere.
okay.
So, all right.
How
There were
about
two other,
Oklahoma? How
What?
about Oklahoma? Can you get me anything for Oklahoma?
it would be a toss up, you know. I've tried, we can just randomly send something out, but there's a good chance we won't be able to
Well,
get.
yeah, I don't, this one that's my wife's great grandfather or grandfather. He was an orphan, and I don't know if we don't know exactly where he came from.
Yeah,
He might
he's
have
the one
come
you,
from, actually, he might have come, and I mentioned this before, he might have been in that orphan train deal.
Well,
You know, it came from Washington and Philadelphia, or not Washington, New York City and Philadelphia to the Midwest. So I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Can I ask a question? May I ask a question?
of course.
What is everybody using to keep their records? Are you using Family Tree Maker? Or are you just most people use Family Tree Maker because
We
it's
do.
tied to Ancestry?
Yeah, this has been
Yeah.
evolving, right? In the
Pardon
last
me?
few years. It's been evolving what people use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what,
Yes.
well, what about you, Ron and Betty? What do you use?
Well, I got everything in Ancestry right now.
Oh, in Ancestry, okay.
Because you can, is that an extra when you say, Family Tree Maker, you can go to where it says additional resources, right? And get it through that?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Family Tree Maker also connects you to, obviously, the Ancestry, and also Family Search, and
Right.
also the other ones, come think of it.
Yeah, it
It
does.
connects you to, if you have a license or membership, you can find your past and also My Heritage too. And Family Tree Maker.
Yeah.
Ron might have something there because I think I mentioned the other day, Tom, in our class, is that Apple's not going to necessarily be supporting the MacBook as strenuously as they have in the past, which tends to believe that it's phasing out into the more heavier duty iPads. And I don't know what's happening in the PC market, but Family Tree Maker, Roots Magic and everything is driven by a database in your computer, not into a remote device like that. So it may be ultimately a problem as people try to figure out where they're going to keep their family trees if you don't have a computer or aren't going to keep it going anymore.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and
I don't know where it's going to head, but I
Yeah.
look at my database and I'm sitting there saying my Family Tree Maker, if I choose not to have a laptop or a desktop computer in the future, which
Right.
probably will happen just because of cost and lack of need for one,
Yeah.
how am I going to
Well-
access everything easily on my iPad or my phones or what have you? Because those apps that, Ancestry's app works pretty good. I never had much luck with Roots Magic at all, Tom. I don't know if you've had any luck with
Well,
it.
I haven't really worked with it
Yeah.
since they've changed everything on it. So,
But the Ancestry one works fairly well, but there are some limitations relative to the desktop-based version.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, everything seems to be going to the cloud now too.
yes,
Where everything gets saved up in the cloud. And I haven't seen anything from Family Tree Maker that recognizes that. Have you? I mean, where you
no,
could,
they don't have a mechanism to easily
No,
store it on
no.
some third-party
No.
cloud. I just take mine and copy it and shoot it up to iCloud, but,
Yeah,
or you could
yeah,
do
well,
it OneDrive, whatever the case may be.
yeah, I do it on OneDrive. I send it to OneDrive.
Right.
Eventually, I would hope that,
How often do you do that though, Tom?
well,
No, I have an external hard drive that's
oh,
connected
yeah,
at
I
all
got that
times,
too.
so it's there all the time.
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah.
I got that too.
Well,
So,
it is a good issue because they are, for example, we've been told CDs are not going to be around in the future, and they don't
No.
even put those drives in computers these
Oh,
days.
no.
no,
That's right.
no,
So
No.
you do have to think of the future.
yeah.
Is everybody reading our chat? Lori, who apparently doesn't have audio or video today, has been logging some commentary on there.
I saw
Oh,
one
Oh, I
comment.
didn't check chat. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh.
Okay.
Who's chatting?
Yeah, she says, I use Ancestry to hold my genealogy lines, also using a hard paper 3-ring binder to store any documents like birth certificates or info from Ancestry. Print up pedigree charts for each line so my family can understand the connection quicker. So
I do
paper
that too.
and
I do that
online.
too. I
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
generate a 3-ring binder too.
About 4 of them.
That's
Yeah.
No, I don't have a 3-ring binder, but I have all the certificates and that and the archival sleeves, and they are in these archival file boxes, okay? And they're just numbered sequentially, and then I have a index of all the, numbers.
I just photo everything or scan it to keep it. I
Yeah.
don't keep the original documents much anymore.
No.
Where are you gonna store them all and who's gonna keep them when you're gone, So,
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. Who wants all this stuff when you're gone,
well, I just keep it up on the cloud and they can all access it if they want it.
Right. And the younger generation is gonna want everything on the cloud.
And all the
They're not
photos
gonna-
are up there and everything, so.
They're not gonna wanna look at your paper,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I've been
No.
having some limited success with donating things to the historical societies. So because we have the same issue here that really nobody wants this stuff.
Yeah.
And I really have been trying to reach out to the historical societies and start donating pictures and documents, for my parents and things. So, and they've been very supportive of receiving this stuff.
That's nice.
So
Life is
I have a
changing.
question before we end up here. I have a question. We haven't participated in the last couple of meetings, but what are we going to be doing going forward now? Are we still going to continue Zoom calls, or are we going to do any in-person meetings? Are we going to start
Is
doing the
it-
library stuff again? Has that been discussed and we missed it?
We keep talking about it, but does everyone want to say, come down here, or how would you do that? I mean, we could always have a program here in the library, but
But
Does
that's a
everyone like-
driving thing. Yeah.
Well, Sturgeon Bay.
Lori, to everyone. What did Lori say there?
what?
Lori?
Great idea. I also write up a bio for each family based on what the census shows, including any narratives.
Yeah, I do too.
So she was continuing on the earlier conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, I put together a thing on one side of my family, and I gave it to my sister, and she looked at it, and then later I asked her, did you read it? No. I'm like, okay. That was a lot of work for nothing.
Yeah.
But someone was saying, here in Sturgeon Bay, we have all these family histories in the history room, and those are unique and very prized because they aren't everywhere else. So
Right.
if
Yeah,
nothing
but-
else, find a local
maybe
history
a
group.
nice field
Lori
trip or something.
just roll their eyes. Yeah.
Possibly do
Yeah.
that one,
Yeah.
like an
Uh,
in-person meeting.
Yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of people just aren't interested in genealogy, I find.
Our daughter says. big
I have family members, and I'll start to talk about interesting things in the family and people just roll their eyes and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is so
Yeah.
boring. So
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then-
that's just the way it is sometimes. And I think
And then
with
you
what
get your call from one of your grandnephews or whatever, great nephew, whatever it's called, and he's in 5th grade and he wants to know about the ancestors because
Yeah.
it's a class project.
yeah,
He forgets about it.
Yeah, I get some interesting questions in terms of, does how, like, is there a history of heart disease in the family or, that kind of stuff, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting. So,
We have a grandson who was interested in any of our family who served in the military.
sure,
So we were able to send him all kinds of stuff.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
How about
it's- I
DNA?
think-
Is it? Well, we kind of got off of Ron's question.
Yeah. Well, does everyone live in different locations? That's part of the problem, you know?
Yeah. Well, our Northern Door group seems to have moved south.
Looks that
Tom,
way.
Steve, yeah.
Well,
So-
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Just somebody up there has to take it over and run your group, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
it used to be the Howards, but they kind of lost
Yeah,
track
they
of
lost interest, right?
technology. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost interest, so.
Probably more
Yeah.
aged out.
And Lori
Yeah.
says, her kids roll their eyes, but stay the course. Maybe after we are gone, someone might be interested. Our great greats that we will never meet.
Who said she lives in Egg Harbor?
And Lori says she lives in Egg and she's happy to come to Sturgeon Bay.
But well,
Oh,
we are too.
We are also Egg.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, Ron, Betty, you're in Sister Bay, so you got the furthest. I don't know where Denise and Jean are.
Yeah, well, we would come down. I mean, if you'd have a monthly meeting or every
Yeah.
other month, it would be good just to
Yeah.
get together. And then
Yeah.
as far as,
Yeah.
remember we used to have those help sessions where we
Yeah.
would advertise that. And I don't know if you're doing that down in Sturgeon Bay.
Yeah.
We don't really have, I'm here much of the time and I help people a lot. The trouble is the room's not very large. So you'll have a few people in there working and I'm always jumping up to help if they need it.
If you were to, Lori, if you were to establish a meeting date once a month, where would a group meet?
Well, probably up in the Jane Green room, which is not with the
Right.
books, you know, it's separate.
Yeah.
Right. But in most cases, we weren't using that much Wisconsin access.
So, yeah.
Well, we were
Well-
probably 50-50.
You have you have a TV up there, don't you? So you can connect the laptop into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you could do it that way, you know? You could do it
Do you
that
still
way.
use the basement, Laura? That room down there?
Not really too much. The Friends of the Library have their books scattered all over
Oh.
and they don't have as many volunteers as they used to, so they don't, you know, open the basement in the same way.
Used to be, yeah.
Well,
We
the
could
weather's
offer
getting,
help and, yeah,
the
and bring,
weather's getting nicer, so why don't we have a get together meeting?
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
when do you think would be a good?
We
Maybe
could try
May?
it once, see how it worked or something, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, Lori, how about meeting at the Crest Pavilion?
Good spot.
You can get it free.
Well, I don't normally arrange things there. That's the thing.
Well,
We'd have
that's
to have
free
someone
for the
there.
library, but you don't go upstairs. You use the library facility on the ground floor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty much in Sturgeon Bay most of the time.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the trouble.
Yeah,
And that's not a problem for
yeah,
us.
no, that's fine.
Is there
Well, if we
anything over in the courthouse that's available, Laura, that they have rooms that they let people use, or over at the police station or fire?
Well, there are, not really in this way, not really. You can use a certain amount of things, but it's not for just open use. People are always coming here to do their work in the summer because there isn't a good place.
Right.
I understand they may rent out rooms in the near future at the old
But the
Nicolay
Sister Bay
thing.
Fire Station was kind of the central place where everybody got together all the time, had meetings.
Sister Bay?
Sister Bay Fire Station had a room that you could book and it was free and
Well,
we
Sister
had
Bay
meetings, different
Library's got
groups.
it
My
too.
wife had group
Yeah.
meetings there all the time.
Yeah. The library also has a free meeting room, which is where we met.
Which- Right, we
The
use that.
Sister Bay
too.
Library. Mhm.
And here we have meeting rooms people can book
Sure.
for different
Mhm.
groups.
Doesn't Kitty's in Sturgeon Bay have a conference room?
Ooh,
Never mind.
We get a lot of
I-
comments there.
Hey, Laura, can you, if we were to have a meeting up at Sister Bay every so often, can you can go up there, can't you, during the day or not?
I don't know, that would be unusual.
Okay,
Because I spend a lot of time, we jump back and forth on the desk and, you know, other positions, so it's hard for me to go that far.
Oh,
You could
we could have
arrange,
a-
you know, you could have a meeting up there.
well, we could have a hybrid meeting, certainly, you
Mhm.
know, do Zoom and do a get
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
We could always do that.
I could
Mhm.
throw the Zoom in there. How many people does that room upstairs hold, Laura? I don't know if I've ever
Quite
been
a
in.
few,
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget the numbers, but you know, you technically like 50 or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
so it's plenty
But-
big.
Yeah, it's a big room.
Yeah. And I do my book group with a hybrid model where I have anyone can come in and sit around the table, and then we have a TV with a camera. There's also the projector, but it's kind of feels more balanced when we use the TV for small meetings like that.
Well, I was
we do
thinking
have
we
that.
could 1 month have it here in Sturgeon Bay, and then the next month have it up in Sister Bay and trade off,
Yeah.
back and forth.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Tom, another idea would be ADRC, because they have a supposedly have a genealogy group there now.
Do
Oh,
they?
yeah?
Do
I
they?
saw a listing for genealogy at, I don't know what, who, what, where, or how, but,
I think that was this meeting.
oh, that this meeting, they're putting it in there?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, because Laura had a meeting over there one time, and did you have anybody show up?
well, it was during COVID still, and there were like
Oh, okay.
just a few people came. But they were
Well, I-
interested. It was just a
But
few
they have
people.
rooms and they have Wi-Fi there and everything, so.
Sure,
Mhm.
yeah. That sounds like a good location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the upstairs library room.
neither do I.
Well,
You know, I think
true.
that's a perfectly good room up there.
As long
Yeah,
as
I
you
would
bring the cookies and the cake, Tom,
What's that?
Yeah.
as long as you bring the cookies and the cake.
I don't know. I think it's.
I think you're,
Okay,
Betty will do that.
Oh, yeah.
You have to bring your own coffee, though.
Then you're
Okay,
yeah,
into the
right,
business.
bring your own coffee. Well, the
Or
glass
whatever.
is just over here, wherever,
That's-
somewhere
that-
up here, over there.
that was Myrna's pride, serving all her sweet goods.
that's why I said it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We can all think about it, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, and the other thing that we have mentioned periodically is, and Ron, you just brought it up, is to have a help session that's open to the public and have that broadcast, and let people know that on this day, it's open to anybody coming in, and
Mhm.
and we'll have people there to help them, and we could have that at least during
Yeah,
the
we did
summer,
that
fall,
all
and
the
spring.
time.
Summer,
Just to-
fall, and spring, we could, do that every month, I think.
Mhm.
Like
know,
we
I
did
do
up
it.
in Sister Bay, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I do it. In Sister Bay, we did it every week.
Every
Yeah.
week we did it, and there was
Yeah.
always a couple people showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And
And
I
did
know
you
Dave
use-
Weston, he was very active in it,
Yeah, it was
and,
fun.
and it went well. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
it went well.
Mhm.
I didn't mind doing it a few times. I thought it was kind of fun.
It was
Yeah.
interesting.
Plus
Yeah,
you got to
people
work on your
were-
own stuff a little bit that you might not
Yeah.
otherwise do.
Yeah, forced you to sit there
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
Yeah, there were other days, yeah.
Yeah, but you
Did
can
you-
work on your genealogy while you're sitting there.
That's
we
right.
did.
Yeah, Ron
Yeah.
did it several times. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we could I think we ought to do that, too.
Okay.
We
I'm good
also
with that.
taught genealogy for the clearing for several years.
Yeah,
Our group.
Tammy asks me every year if I'm going to do that again, and I usually
Yeah.
say no. But we could do that again. I mean, there's no reason why we can't. If, we
Yeah.
could do that.
Well,
We could
yeah,
do a clearing, we
Gretchen
could
was
do a
very good at
DIR, I mean, LIR class
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We could certainly do that if we wanted to.
Or do a class
Gretchen,
here too.
Gretchen, what's her last name?
Farwell.
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 Awesome.
Yeah, she's great at that.
Yeah, she's very good at it. We probably
Yeah.
could get her, enlist her.
Yeah.
She's much better than me.
That's our expert. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
she's very good. If we can get her, I don't know if for a while there, she was having a lot of, she said there was some issue in her family she had to deal with.
Oh,
Last time I talked to her, and I don't know what it was. But that's why it was taking too much of her time, or that's what's taking all her time. So I don't know. That was a couple months ago, so.
Okay.
So do we want to meet, Laura, do we want to meet in person in Sturgeon Bay on next time?
So you're saying May 5th
May,
is the
yeah,
next,
May 5th, that's the
at
next,
2 o'clock here in the library, maybe?
yeah.
We could do it. There would-
Does
I
everybody
don't
want
think-
to do that?
Sounds good.
I'm
Yeah.
for, it. I'm open.
And we could
Well-
do it hybrid, as you said, have
Yeah.
a camera, have it, so anyone
We
who
can do it
can't make it.
hybrid.
I know.
A corollary to that is, are we going to meet during the summer?
Oh, yeah.
Because so
I
many
think we
people are
can.
traveling and
A lot of people do go,
a lot of people up here, it gets to be kind of hectic at times.
Oh,
Genealogy.
well, okay.
I
I
don't
mean-
know about the summer.
I
I'm
don't
not
even
sure
do my
what
class, I don't
it's-
even do my Apple classes in the summer because people
Well, the
just,
other,
busy.
okay,
Is that in person?
Yes,
Okay.
at the library.
if we do have a help session once a month, I would think we still would do that in the summer.
that we would do in the summer, yeah.
Yeah, for people coming to the library,
mhm.
some, say the third Wednesday of the month or something. I throw it out.
Your
And we
golf,
used to post
I
notices.
know it's going to
for-
interfere with my golf, but that's okay.
I may join you, so
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking
Okay.
about it, so.
Oh, yeah, anybody wants, any of the men that want to play golf every week, because it's the men's only, the women have their own deal, okay? So at Max Welton on Wednesday afternoon at 4:30. Certainly welcome to join us. We have teams and we play for money. And bragging rights.
Okay, I'll set it up for a hybrid meeting for the 5th. So anyone who wants to come here, I'll set it up the way I do my book groups.
I've got it,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, great.
And then
Okay.
anyone who wants to join online can do that also.
Oh,
And
good.
we'll think of
That
some good
sounds good.
subjects to cover.
Since you have the
Wonderful.
list of supposed attendees or group, can you
Yeah.
send out a special deal on that? Laura,
Sure.
would you please?
Yeah, I'll change the calendar too, so that
Yeah.
it says you can meet in person or online.
Great.
Good.
Okay,
Okay, great.
All right.
bye.
All right, thank
Thanks.
you.
Take
Yeah.
care, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good week.